He a Drake Vice.
Yeah. Put some respect on
He
the
with it.
motherfuckers.
That's not like he a Drake Vice.
Yeah. Put some respect on the motherfuckers.
That's not like you represent Hoover?
Yeah.
All right, so you represent Hoover?
Yeah.
I just was asking you, how do you separate? Because basically you saying I represent this over here, what you knowing is demonic, but then you represent this over here, but you still, you know what I'm saying? You're not letting part of that go. I was just asking, but you answered it though, like this is how I identify. This is where I'm still right here, but I don't represent none of that. You know what I'm saying? As far as the actions that's involved with over there.
Exactly.
I respect that, bro.
Yes, sir.
When you go to the feds, you get to pick like what card
you
gonna roll with, right? So as far as from us, like, you know, it might be a nigga from Tennessee, he might be a Crip, but he might come in and be like,
I'm with Tennessee.
With the Tennessee niggas, you feel me? So on a religious standpoint, a Muslim, like I'm a Muslim, you feel me? But you gotta make the choice, I guess, is you gonna roll with Islam or you rolling with the Crips, you feel me? So I'm gonna ask you, if you went to the pen, what card would you pick?
Yeah, I don't even know about a real Israelite card, really existing. You know what I'm saying?
The Israelites, they with the Muslim, they got the Israelites, the Moes, the Moorish Science.
Okay.
You feel me?
All in one
Christians
card?
No, I'm not saying all in one card.
No, they got their own card.
Christians got a
I know
card.
about the Christian card. Yeah, for sure.
So you don't even know. So you going with the hoop. You going with the low.
Yeah. You know why though? Because somebody got to be that light over there. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be the light. You know? And all praise to the Most High, man. You know, check me out, GRLA Hebrew, on pretty much all platforms. They took down my my main YouTube page like last month at 63,000 subs. They knocked me down at 63,000 subs. They knocked.
This is Sirach chapter 13, verse 15, and it reads, "Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like." I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rachaha Quadash. I want to give double honors to that apostle that is a great millstone to rule well and teach well. Peace and blessings to you, sincere Akim, that are pushing this truth all over the four corners of the earth, week in and week out in our truth and sincerity. I'm going to read that again. This is Sirach 13 and 15. "Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like." And as you saw in the various video clips of Gorilla Hebrew, the head of the Sakari, on this particular podcast, he came back to this podcast. This is not the first time he's been on No Jumper, and he was called back, to do whatever you call this is, because this is definitely not an interview, just a bunch of nigga talk, talking about nigga shit, okay? No type of edification, and, he probably went on this podcast, for the money, for a check. All right, he was on there the first time, and they probably looked at the, analytics and, saw the support that was coming in from, all the Sakari members. Because as you look in the comment board, you see a lot of support from the Sakari for Gorilla Hebrew being on this this podcast. So they probably called him back so they can make some money. All right, so he can get a little money in his pocket, and in the podcast, damn sure they're gonna make their money. Okay. But as you saw at the beginning, hey man, he's right at home. And the brother from our camp, he put it best, and I might entitle this video just that. All right. He said he's at home, because we were watching a little bit of this together. It says, the brother said he's at home, talking about Al-Azhar. He's at home. He's comfortable. And that was a very telling thing in this interview, this podcast, because body language, says a lot. And it's hard to hide body language. You know, it's hard to cover up body language. Okay. You know, you can say one thing, but, you know, the way you sit, the way you move, the way your body reacts to certain things said, okay, is says a lot, okay, for the most part. You know, and he's right at home. He enjoys being around niggas, rolling up blunts, smoking weed, you know, and another thing, like, you know, what does this guy smoke weed? You know, how can you be in a room with a bunch of people rolling up constantly, firing up blunts over and over and over again, okay? This nigga he's sitting next to, you know, got a cigarette in his hand, you know, just smoking right next to, you know, Gorilla Hebrew, okay? You know, and you can really see that he really likes being around niggas, man. This is Sirach 13 and 15. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb? So the sinner with the godly. All right. You know, just him going on this podcast, you know, it says a lot. Okay. You know, and you know, I know Apostle Gabar did a video on this topic. You know, I know other Akim and elders are doing videos on this topic as well. I want to go into some scriptures also. Got a couple scriptures lined up. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 20. It says, despise not prophesying, prove all things, hold fast that which is good, abstain from all appearances of evil. Okay? And this right here is an appearance of evil. Somebody walks in and sees all y'all together. What do they say? They say there's 4 niggas, man. Smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, you know, like Esau likes to put it, up to no good. All right? You know, you're supposed to try to separate yourselves, all right, from these wicked Israelites, man. We're not supposed to congregate with them and blend in with them and be buddy-buddy and arms around. You saw what he did. Let's play it again. Hey, that type of look, what that happened right there. Hey, when you was in the world, hey, we saw this a lot when we was in the world, right? You know, a nigga that looks up to another nigga because of what he's done in the streets, or he just got out of prison or jail, all right, or he just might be the man on the block, you know. Hey, that's the kind of look that Gorilla Hebrew the Sakari gave this nigga on the left. I forgot his name. I think his name was Shore or something like that. That's the kind of look he just gave him, man. You know, this man is just looking a lot like Envy. Real quick, let's go to Proverbs 23rd chapter and the 17th verse. Let not thy heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Lord all the day long. You know, we're not supposed to envy these wicked niggas in the world. We're not supposed to envy or look back to who we used to be, man. We're supposed to be a completely new and changed, all right? We're supposed to be a new man. We're not supposed to be look at this nigga shit, this, and the basics of this topic started off, there's the whole Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. You know, it started off from there. You know, hey, man, we're not supposed to be, you know, wanting to be like these niggas in the world, nor looking back to who we used to be in the world. Because we used to be these niggas, man. We used to be, you know, these weed smoking, you know, gang banging on the streets, you know, adulterous, involved in these religions and doctrines, just all the way out there, right? Okay, we're not supposed to look at these niggas in the world and envy what they got, all right? Envy their position on the earth and try to emulate them. It says, back in Proverbs, the 23rd chapter, it says, let not thy heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Lord all the day long. We got to be in the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahushua all the day long, man. Okay? Yahweh Shem Yahushua is not nothing to play with, man. And we also have to be wise, okay? Scriptures say, walk circumspectly and be wise, man. This is not a wise thing to go on No Jumper podcast, man. Okay? No Jumper is affiliated with a lot of wicked people, man. Okay? And he's plugged in. You know? You go into this man's studio, you go into his podcast, ain't no telling what might happen, man. Okay? You know, you're dealing with the that part of society, all right, who's in the know on the left-hand side and involved in all types of wickedness, man. And a lot of these, I'm gonna say this as well, a lot of these people that come on the Joe Jumper show are recent sellouts, okay? Recent people have gone to those meetings, have gone to that back room, have gone to participated in certain particular rituals, and are getting upstarted and getting their image created, all right, to be built up in Hollywood and various other platforms as well, you know, podcasts, YouTube, etc. All right, so you know they get a chance to go on No Jumper because they just, you know, went to that meeting and they did all types of things, you know, for money and fame, which was promised to them. All right, and you also have just, you know, known Jakes in the celebrity world and in the rap, you know, all, you know, porn stars and all that he has on the shows as well. Okay, who are just all in all, they're all pushing the agenda of Esau, man. Okay. And no type of edification came out of, you know, Sakari of the Gorilla Hebrew coming on this No Jumper podcast. And you heard what he said. He said that he's repping who? He's staying with the Crips. When he goes to jail, when he gets locked in prison, and you come up and you get signed in and they ask you, you know, do you represent any games? Guess what? He's checking blue. He's checking Crip. He said, you know what? I'm for the Crips. You know? That's who I'm riding with. Okay? That's who I'm supporting. When you go to jail and you go to prison and you side with a gang, guess what? When some gang shit pop off, you got to be involved with it. Or you get stabbed up, you get poked up, or you get addressed, you get reprimanded, man. That's how that gang life go, okay? So basically, you saying you repping the Cribs, you're basically saying you're willing to get down and put your life on the line for a bunch of niggas that you don't know that claim the same color as you, all right? Which is completely going off, man, okay? Look at the prophets of old, man. Look at the men that were persecuted, were thrown in prison, thrown in jail. All right? Did they side with these 2/3 of the nation of Israel? Did they side with some group or some organization? Huh? You know? They put their faith in who? They put their faith and trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And a lot of these Jakes, man, they don't have faith. They really don't believe. And personally, I'm just gonna say this the way I feel personally. I believe Alazar of the Sakari, the Gorilla Hebrew. I believe he's an agent, man. I'm just gonna say it. I think he's an agent. All right, and I think he's been set up by these wicked elites to do exactly what he's doing. All right, concerning the infiltration of the quote-unquote Black Hebrew Israelite movement, as they would put it. All right, it only makes sense. Okay. Especially when you watch this interview, because he said a lot of things that I didn't put in the snippet I put at the beginning of this video. All right, and I try to keep it short as possible, you know, because I could have put a whole lot of other things in there, you know, that we could have went into and dealt with the scriptures. All right. It says, verse 18. For surely there is an end, and thine expectation shall not be cut off. Hear thou, my son, and be wise. All right, we got to use wisdom, man. Okay? Just because something is lawful doesn't mean it's expedient. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Just because it's not going against the law, statutes, and commandments doesn't mean you should be involved with it. It says, verse 19, hear thou, my son, and be wise, and guide thy heart in the way. Be not among wine bibbers, among riotous eaters of flesh. Okay? We're supposed to separate ourselves, man, from these wicked so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right? We're not supposed to be, you know, congregating with them, laughing it up, joking it up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, the way Gorilla Hebrew looked at I believe his name was Shaw. Don't quote me on that. You know, he had that look where, you know, I want to be like you, okay? Because he ain't look at him, homeboy on the left ain't look at Gorilla Hebrew back the same way, you know?
That's not like he and Drake fights.
I want to jump over to 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and 14. It says, if any man obey not our word by this epistle, note that man and have no company with him, that he may be ashamed. We're not supposed to seek to have company about seek to have company with Israelites that have ultimately rejected the truth. Because all these jakes, you know, sitting here on the left, you know, and the homeboy in the hat, when you watch the podcast, it's like he had the most sense out of all these guys, or I should say he came out with the most sense out of all these people sitting in these couches, man. You know, he was asking Gorilla Hebrew the right questions, man. Who you gonna side with since you represent the Crip? Who you gonna side with when you get thrown in prison? Huh? How do you have, you know, he basically asked him, how do you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out? How do you associate and represent something that, you know, you don't agree with and you know is demonic? Matter of fact, let's find that joint. Let's find that joint. Let's see.
I just was asking you, how do you separate? Because basically you saying I represent this over here, what you knowing is demonic, but then you represent this over here, but you still, you know what I'm saying, you're not letting part of that go. I was just asking.
You hear what he said? He said, you're not letting part of that go. You know? He said, how do you differentiate? How do you separate, you know, the whole Crip gang culture, gang life, representing your city? And there's laws and rules that come along with that, okay? Being in gangs, being affiliated with niggas in the street, man. And there's certain guidelines you got to go abide by. And you could see how Gorilla Hebrew during this whole podcast, he was very much in agreement with everything everyone's saying. He ain't give no kickback, okay? You know, because he really didn't want no type of confrontation, so to speak, verbal confrontation concerning, you know, all that gang shit, okay? You know, he really just wanted to fit in and blend in. All right, but you heard this guy on the left with that orange hat on. He said, how do you differentiate from the gang culture to you being a Hebrew Israelite, following the law, statutes, and commandments? You know, basically is what he's saying, you know? And, you know, you hear, let's play it.
But you answered it, though, like, this is how I identify. This is where I'm still right here, but I don't represent none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so he's still right here. He still is a gang member. But he pushes the truth. How does that work, man? And he tries to throw an excuse of, you know, he can reach gang members because he used to be a gang member, and, you know, him being this and being that. Now I can use that for the man. Come on, man. You know, it's not about us. It's not about you. We're not waking nobody up. We're not converting nobody. We're not bringing anybody into the truth. It's Yahweh Bashim Yahushua that's bringing, all right, the Israelites into the truth. It's Yahweh Bashim Yahushua that's waking our people up. It's not of us, man. Okay? You see a lot of pride in this guy's eyes, man. All right? Verse 2 Thessalonians 3 and 14. If any man obey not our word by this epistle, note that man and have no company with him, that he may be ashamed, yet count him not as an enemy, but admonish him as a brother. All right? Let's go over to over to Galatians 2 and 4. It says, and that because of false brethren unawares brought in, who came in privately to spy out our liberty, which we have in Yahushua Mashiach, that they might bring us into bondage. All right, you know, I believe a lot of these, I believe a lot of these Israelites amongst these various different camps, even amongst Great Millstone, we're gonna have spies, man. All right, you know, agents. You know, I believe Gorilla Hebrew is an agent, man. All right, I could be wrong. It's just what I believe. All right, let's go to Jude chapter 1 verse 3. Let's skip down to verse 4. It says, For there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to do this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of our power Yahweh into lasciviousness, and denying the only Lord, our power, and our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Okay, so, spies, agents, all right, false brethren is all part of prophecy. Okay, let's go to Matthew 6:22. It says, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, the whole body shall be full of darkness. If there therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? No man can serve two masters. Like this Jake on the left was addressing Guerrilla Hebrew. All right. He basically asked him, how are you serving two masters? How are you fitting in the middle? How are you blending in? How you got 1 foot over here and 1 foot over there? How you wearing blue and wearing fringes? Huh? How are you wearing blue and wearing fringes? Yeah, that should be the title. That might be the title of the video. It says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one, okay, and despise the other. You cannot serve Yahweh and Mammon. So you can't serve two masters, all right? And there's going to come a line drawn in the sand, all right, eventually, where you're going to have to pick a side, okay? You ain't going to be able to ride off with both sides, okay? And he should have been on there, basically condemning, all right, gang life, gang culture, which is all controlled by these wicked elites, man, and set up in our communities. All right, this was all set up strategically to divide us, to conquer, to get us locked up in jail, dead in prison, overdosed on drugs, etc., to destroy you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And Esau has done it very, very well. It's been a very well sought after plan. And even amongst all the things that have happened to our people concerning gang life and gang culture, our people still gravitate to it. Our people still hold on to it so dear. Even some of these jakes that know they're Israelites, even some of these jakes that are out here teaching on the highways and byways, they still hold so dearly to that gang life, that gang culture. All right? I'm going to close out on Philippians, the 1st chapter. And I'm going to start in the 14th verse. And it says, and many of the brethren in the Lord, waxing confident by my bonds, are much more bold to speak the word without fear. Some indeed preach of Yahushua Mashiach, even of envy and strife, and some also of goodwill. Okay, so you got a lot of jakes that are in this thing for the wrong reasons. They're in it for their own vainglory, to elevate themselves, to put themselves up on a pedestal. You hear Guerrilla Hebrew, all you hear him say is I, me. All right? We all got to put off the pride. All right? And we got to humble ourselves in this thing of ours, man. Like I said, I'm going to say again, this is not of us. This is of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right? He controls all. He's doing the awakening. This truth is being revealed to the so-called Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans by the Lord. All right? It says, some indeed preach of a Mashiach, even of envy and of strife, and some also of goodwill. The one preach Yahushua Mashiach of contention, not sincerely. You got a lot of Israelites that are not sincere, supposing to add affliction to my bonds. Okay, verse 17. But the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel. So we're supposed to defend this gospel, man. All right. And when we see things amongst these other camps, all right, as well as various other matters, we address them like we're supposed to, man. You got a lot of Israelites amongst these other camps that call us hateful, and why don't you just, at your brother, and, because we getting on these other camps. But we're supposed to. We're in defense of the gospel, man. When these other camps go off according to the scriptures, man, we're going to do videos on it. You can count on that. That's one thing you other Israelite camps can count on, is you can count on Great Millstone doing a video on you when you go off. Okay? Hey, Lord willing, this was edifying. To the next time, shalom.